What a beautiful setting. I feel like I need some sweet tea right now. We are in the South for this weekend. It is going to be fun. Our first matchup of the night. West Virginia out of the Big 12 undefeated, taking on Clemson at 4-1 out of the ACC. Let's take a look at the Palmetto side of this bracket here. Semifinal matchup. Winner of this one will face the winner of tonight's matchup. Georgia taking on Xavier later tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN2. Alongside my partner, Scott Williams, three-time NBA champ. I'm John Shrippen. Well, Scott, let's dive into these coaches here. Clemson, Brad Brownell enters his 16th season, just got a contract extension. Takes on first-year head coach here in West Virginia, Ross Hodge. This should be an interesting one.
Yeah, you get an extension, you win 74 games in a 3-year stretch. You go 18-2 last season in the ACC, knocking off top 5, Kentucky and Duke. And then, of course, Coach Hodge on the other side. All this dude does is preach defense. He's already established a culture at West Virginia. 5-0 start, the best start since 1955. Not even I was born then.
He comes from North Texas, already undefeated on the season, but this is going to be a big test for West Virginia, a very experienced Clemson squad tonight.
Yeah, they put Coach Brownell. He's got a lot of turnover on his squad, but he went out and got himself a lot of seniors and graduate students, and these guys flat out get after it defensively. They're very long, athletic. West Virginia must keep them off that offensive glass.
Ready to have some fun tonight, partner?
I am ready to have some fun. I am looking forward to watching this kid Honor Huff. All he did was lead the nation in three-point shots last year. He can stroke it early. He'll stroke it often.
He's going to get him up for West Virginia. It is the Mountaineers coming out wearing the road blue. It'll be the Tigers wearing the home white. Our officials tonight for this first one, Pat Adams, Tommy Morrissey, and Jason Garreton.
Yeah, don't be fooled. We're down here in South Carolina, but there's a lot of Mountaineer fans in the house.
It is Clemson winning the tip. There's Dylan Hunter, the only returning player here for this Clemson squad. Turns the corner, pick and roll. Mountaineer fans wanted to travel, no call here early on, but there's the steal. Jump in the passing lane, Jasper Floyd with the lay-in, and it's West Virginia on the board first.
That's what I'm talking about with these West Virginia Mountaineers. They will get into the passing lanes. You already saw Floyd get one. Honor Huff, he grabs about 3 a game himself.
With the nice scoop shot, that is Jake Wallin. He is the transfer from Utah.
He's nice. I like the way this kid moves with the basketball and without it, constant motion. Kind of that Swiss Army knife, does a little bit of everything for Coach Hodge.
There's the guy you were talking about, Honor Huff, dumps it inside to his big man. Turns the shoulder, but off the mark is Harlan Obioba. Just underway here in the Palmetto side of this bracket. Here, the Charleston Classic. Another one of the transfers, Nick Davidson, comes from Nevada. Skip pass. This is Wallin. Davidson trying to keep it alive, but it's going to be West Virginia ball.
You better be body on body because the white shirts are sending 2 and 3 guys to that offensive glass every possession. What this wants to do, they want to run a high pick and roll as well. Maybe angle screen, side pick and roll. They're going to try to create mismatches so they can try to attack that paint. Seeing a little full court pressure here. I love it.
Now, we've broken down both of these teams in our preparation for this. Hard to believe West Virginia picked to finish 11th in the Big 12 this year. But a turnover there as Floyd dragged that pivot foot.
Yeah, a little nerves, I think, tonight. Both these teams with some early turnovers, kind of some unforced errors.
As we take a look at the preseason poll in the Big 12, I mean, that's how deep the Big 12 is this year. When you've got Kansas picked to finish 6th, unreal.
Yeah, you just got Drew and Baylor down there at 7. It's one of those things. I love the Big 12. It's that black and blue division. I think West Virginia is going to be just fine. What a block inside.
Brandon Laurent with the swat. Here's Huff on the other end. Knocked down.
That's what Honor Huff does. Like I said, 131 threes last year. Led everybody in basketball. Took his Chattanooga team all the way to the NIT championship.
Clemson trying to use their side. This is Davidson inside. Doubled left hand, no good. And it's the little guy, Huff, skying for the board, getting fouled.
You mentioned it. He got up off the ground. I don't know what his vertical leap is, but he's down free to mix it up down there amongst the trees. Look at that. You got to know your personnel. You cannot drop off the basketball and let Honor Huff get the seams right and lace a three.
Well, you can tell West Virginia's going to try to feed off this crowd. You mentioned it. You know we're playing here in South Carolina. Mountaineers fans, they have traveled. They're going to make a weekend out of this. We're hearing the early noise.
Yes, they are bringing the early noise, and I love the fact that they're walking over here. They already had the chance going. They were right ready for this game 2 hours before tip-off. This is the best start in school history, like I said, since 1955. They are excited about the program and what Coach Hodge has done thus far. Most importantly, he beat the rival Pitt.
Here's Eaglestaff, turns the corner, off the mark. Clemson now with numbers. 2-on-1 break, but it's stripped away by Huff, and it'll stay with the Tigers.
You know, those athletic hands, as my old pal Jared Dudley used to say in the NBA, hidden back there. He knows he can't get up there and challenge at the rim, but he uses his quickness down there and his feet to get that knock away and take it out of bounds, baseline out of bounds. Let's see how they operate early on the baseline out of bounds, see if they can get a good shot.
What do you want to see from Clemson offensively to get into this game here?
Patience.
There's Hunter with a deep ball, nothing but nylon, and we're tied at 5.
And that's that extra pass, right? Talk about patience, realizing you hadn't got off to a quick start. You made a couple turnovers, you missed some shots, you've had some knockaways and some deflections. Make that extra pass, help your teammate make a high percentage shot.
Hunter's that guy who, whenever they need things to get settled down, they give him the ball. Tough. You don't want to give him any space. Does not use the screen. This is DJ Thomas, the freshman. He's been getting more and more playing time. Shot clock winding down at 2. Left it short. Rebound to Hunter.
Yeah, give credit where credit is due. They got out on Honor Huff. They stopped his three-point shot. They had the freshman with the ball with a short clock shot situation, and he just could not find the range.
A blocking foul is called on West Virginia as Wallene driving baseline. First personal called on Brennan Lorient. He is the North Texas transfer.
You know, Lorient was in good positions. All he had to do was take about another half foot forward, get outside that restricted area, and set his feet and take that charge.
All right, we basically have a full hockey line change now with 5 new players coming on the floor for Clemson as Brad Brownell wants to maybe switch up the energy a little bit.
Well, he wants to keep the defensive pressure on him for sure. Maybe just a wake-up call. Get his guys settled down. Sometimes that first 3.5, 4 minutes, your body's just moving a little faster than your mind.
Foster off the bench, hoist one off the mark, and a rebound to Amir Jenkins. Jenkins trying to split the D. It was interesting. West Virginia head coach Ross Hodge said, I anticipate this to be a rock fight. 2 defensive-minded teams, but they can also get up some points. Too strong. A rebound now goes to Ace Buckner.
Yeah, both these teams love to hold opponents under 40% shooting, if you can believe that. So what we're seeing early on is kind of defense taking over the offense. Still got a little rust on it.
R.J. Godfrey started his career at Clemson, transferred to Georgia last year, then come back here to finish here in his senior year, and he gives the Tigers the lead.
How about that footwork and patience down there in that painted area? A lot of young players will rush a shot down there. Took his time, got back on balance. Little left shoulder turn to a little right hand shot.
Tough, so slippery, gets by the D. But good recovery by Clemson with 8 on the shot clock. Thomas Jr. lets it go, too strong. Bumped by his own man, but Zach Foster holds on to it. Both teams feel very comfortable playing a lot of freshmen, especially early in the season. Coaches want to see what they have. A deep one off the mark there for Buckner.
Yeah, you get a better shot than that. It was a little early to pull the trigger on the shot clock for Buckner from that was Steph Curry, the boys shoot from.
Buckner now coming the other way. Does not have numbers, but he goes and just bully ball straight to the rim. A 7-0 run for Clemson right now.
Yes, Clemson's on a run right now. A little surprised they let that contact go. Looked like Honor Huff was in pretty good position to take that offensive charge, but referees are letting them play early on. This is old school 90s basketball. I love it. Oh, no.
He is fouled shooting 3 by Foster.
Oh, that's the Cardinal sin. You cannot foul a three-point shooter, even if it is Honor Huff. We got a good one going here in the low country.
ESPN's exclusive presenter, Children's Charleston Classic. Clemson had the early lead over West Virginia. Alongside three-time NBA champ Scott Williams, I'm John Triffin. Pleased to be joined with you. Well, Brad Brownell has just won here at Clemson. The last 3 years, he has racked up 74 wins, got that contract extension. But he said this year, this is the most turnover he has ever had. A lot more teaching he has to do on the court.
Yeah, doing a lot of teaching. We saw that in practice yesterday. He spent a lot of time with us, and you can see why that leadership, the culture, the Clemson grit, it's more about work ethic, and it's really paid off these last two seasons. You see that in 23-24, just 11 wins. Last year, 18-2 in the ACC, knocked off Duke when they were in the top 5, knocked off Kentucky when they were in the top 5. His players have bought into what it is to be a Clemson Tiger basketball player. Got a chance to talk to Horace Grant as he's going into the Basketball Hall of Fame up there with the Chicago Bulls, and he said, hey, offense wins games, but defense wins championships, and I think that's what Coach Brownell tries to tell his teams every time that they step on the floor.
This is a team that was picked to finish 7th in the ACC, an ACC that a lot of people think is going to be a lot better than it was last year.
Yeah, it was down last year, there's no doubt about it. So it was 18 wins, maybe a little softer than, say, the SEC or the Big 12. But you still got to play the games, right? You still got to travel out to Stanford and California in Cal, and then come back, and then you got to face a Duke or a Wake Forest or North Carolina. So it ain't easy getting wins in the ACC, regardless of the strength of the schedule.
All right, here's the preseason poll. Duke to finish pick to finish first in the ACC. Your Tar Heels third, and Clemson at number 7. Tigers with an early 2-point lead. We played about 6 minutes here in Charleston. Godfrey Jr., he is so versatile with that wide body. Johnson trying to split the D, took the contact, and he gets it to go, plus the foul.
How about the speed of Johnson with no hesitation whatsoever? Nice play call, by the way, by Coach Brunell coming out of that timeout. Dip it down low, get that ball before the free throw line. Everybody's got to collapse to the basketball. When they're trying to rotate out, he just put it in D for drive, took it right into the heart of the defense. Caught the defenders off balance and got that contact. I love the concentration finish at the end of the play. Knocks down the free throw for the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Largest lead of the game for the Tigers, up 5. Ephraim Butta Johnson, the transfer from UAB. There's Morris Ugasuk, the transfer from South Carolina. And now Amir Jenkins is running the point. He's a change of pace. He's going to try to use his speed to get past people. Nice little step back. Ooh, that was silky smooth.
That was crafty as all get out. I love that right there. Little push down, step back, snap, get back on balance. That's the most important thing. You young players out there watching that move right there. It's the getting back on balance and getting your shoulders squared to the basket.
First field goal in over 4 minutes for West Virginia. Skying for the rebound is Chance Moore.
I like the way Chance Moore got in there and shoots some glass there. He had no doubt that ball belonged to him.
Ugasuk, he is a shooter. West Virginia has not been able to establish the inside presence yet. Ugasuk bumped off his position, no whistle. Get it back to him, he lets it fly, missing everything inside. And it's Harlan Obioha. He draws the whistle.
Well, it's the toughest rebound to get is an air ball when you're on defense. The offensive player has the advantage using his length underneath, snatched that up. And I love the fact that he didn't come down with that basketball. He didn't let it try to throw it back outside. Hey, I got that big frame. Like you said, we've been struggling to score some points in the paint. Let me go back up with some power and get that foul.
First one rims out for Obioha. And once again, a hockey line change for Clemson as the 5 starters come back on the floor for the Tigers. What do you think of that second unit for Clemson giving them the lead?
I thought they did a really nice job. They played good defense. They shared the ball offensively. They worked the ball inside. They got to the foul line. Obioha, 63% shooter. I'd be shocked if he doesn't make this one. First one sometime early in the game is just a range finder if you're under 70% shooter, but too strong with the second one.
So lead stays at 3 for Clemson. With Dylan Hunter back running the show. There's Porter, splits the D. Good help D by West Virginia. Porter from the corner knocks down the three.
Movement of the basketball. Take that ball inside, kick it back to the outside. And Porter, he didn't relax on the play. He sprinted to the weak side. The ball found him for an open three-point shot. He knocked it down. Porter off to a nice start.
Largest lead of the game so far with Clemson up 6. Dipping the shoulder is Lorient, but it rims out.
You could see the inside length of Clemson really bothering rather the Musketeers. Excuse me, the Mountaineers. We got the Musketeers after this.
3 off the mark, but this backside rebound goes to Wallin. Nine on the shot clock here for the Tigers. Welling working against the 7-footer and loses it.
I think that's
a shot clock violation.
Good call, partner. Yeah, shot clock violation. Great defense by West Virginia.
It is Clemson with an early lead here in the first semifinal of the night here in Charleston. Welcome back. Clemson with a 15-9 lead over West Virginia alongside Scott Williams and John Trippin. Well, Scott, you talked about the defensive play by both of these teams. Why are you really excited about this matchup?
Because I was a defensive guy. I couldn't score, and Jordan never let me shoot. So I like the teams that get into defensive stance and really get after it. And look at these numbers right here. West Virginia third in D1 in points allowed, and then Clemson also right there in the top 10. And if you're going to establish your culture with a bunch of new guys like this team has, you're not going to worry about the offensive side of the ball as much as you're going to make guys commit to playing defense, rebounding the basketball, and if you can do that, the offense will come because you can get out and run in transition. You can get steals, you can get turnovers, and you can always be in a basketball game.
You're telling me when you won those championships with the Bulls, MJ didn't let you shoot?
not even a little bit. I'd be wide open from 8 feet, and he'd kick it back around the other side to Paxson.
Hey, you can still get a ring, though. You got to get on the court playing some D. West Virginia, a scoreless drought here over 2 minutes from the floor. How do you think they get back in their offensive flow?
Well, listen, Clemson is cutting off everything inside. They got to do exactly what they did. They got to figure out a way to change sides of the basketball. Make those big guys have to move their feet.
Lorient trying to work on the block. High off the glass, no good. And the 7-footer, Obioha, called for the over-the-back foul.
I thought Obioha got pretty good position in there. I'm not one to get on the officials, but those wide shoulders, it looked like he got up quicker and got to that rock sooner than, was that Wallin?
West Virginia started this game 2 of 3 from the floor, since 1 of 8, but they now force the turnover and will get the ball back.
That's something that they did early on when they got up to that 5-2 start. They got some live ball turnovers, so not having to deal with some of that length and the speed of Clemson getting inside, getting some turnovers, getting some deflections, disrupting that offense. You see their defense is starting to take a little bit more of a hold, shutting down this Tigers attack.
Here's a crazy stat. All 5 of the opponents that West Virginia have played have had more turnovers than assists in their games to start this season.
I love that. I don't love it. Coach Hodge even loves that even more. That means his team really playing some solid D.
Eagle staff, he can get it up with the best of them. He will get another try from the corner. Second chance is good from deep.
Yeah, give some credit to getting on that offensive glass. Obioha getting the second chance opportunities, leads to a quick 3, and this Mountaineer fan base coming alive.
Crowd helped that defensive effort for West Virginia as Eaglestaff behind the back loses his man. Oh, the crowd would have went wild.
Yeah, the roof might have come off of this place because you're right. They did a really good job. I don't think it was the crowd as well, but seeing that triple go in, it had the Mountaineers playing a little harder defensive. Look at that challenge on that wild shot.
The long arms of Lorient forcing the miss. As West Virginia will walk it up the floor. Here goes Floyd off the window. Nothing but white jerseys there on the rebound. Floyd gets to the ground to try to recover it. As the two get tangled behind the play. Davidson lowers the shoulder with the 7-footer, and Obi Oha stands his ground.
Dude is like a Mack truck down there. Big old roadblock. Would not let anything go into that basket down low. I love that right there. Just letting the big guys play. I love the way these officials are calling this game. We got guys getting a tussle 75 feet away from the basket. If the two officials just said, get up.
Shot clock's at 4 for Lorient. Takes a peek at the clock. Now it gets up a mid-range. Too strong. Opioha. Backside rebound. Rejected by the rim, but he gets it out. 3 on the way. Count it. Jasper Floyd ties the game. A 6-0 run for West Virginia.
Floyd's a sniper out there on that arc, but the board work by Opioha. Huff for the steal.
Here comes Huff up and under.
This place is going bananas.
Who's going to quiet the crowd for Clemson? Waleen, his 3 rims out, and Lorient just wanted it more.
He even took it from his own teammate. These guys are doing some yeoman's work on the glass.
An 8-0 run from the Mountaineers after going through that early scoring drought. As Huff says, give me this clear out. I got the big man on me. Goes to his left, gets by his man. Still plenty of time as Floyd will re-enter into the post. Lorient, one-on-one against Davidson. 3 on the shot clock, step back 3. As Eaglestaff misses everything. Now, they have encouraged him to shoot more. That's what he did when he transferred from North Dakota.
Well, you want to get back into a game, you get on the offensive glass, and you find your sniper from the outside, and nothing better than live ball turnovers to get out in transition, use your wheels, and get the bucket.
NC State ranked number 25 in the country. Arizona State and Texas. The late game there in Maui as we're back here in Charleston alongside Scott Williams, John Triffin. We've got a good one here. Our first semifinal tonight. Back and forth we have gone here in this early going. Clemson out of the timeout. Backdoors Thompson. With Godfrey back on the floor. Spin move in the paint. What a move by the big man, R.J. Godfrey.
Oh, moving those biscuits well down there. I love that. I never had a spin move, but I could have played in the league a couple more years if I'd had a spin move. But that was a thing of beauty. Love that. Take the defense one way, snap it back, come back, get yourself an open look.
The response on the other end, Chance Moore. He's the transfer from St. Bonaventure.
Well, they needed some points in the paint because Clemson just was destroying them with points in the paint. And so I'm sure Coach Hodge telling those guys start attacking that basket a little bit more often.
Zach Foster unable to turn the corner. So it's Godfrey. He gets around and will draw the whistle. He had been a starter this season, but last game he came off the bench. Coming off the bench again here tonight, and immediately he is making an impact.
Yeah, I really like this young fella right here. I mean, I love the way he plays with energy. I got him highlighted on my little board here because he's constant motion, always trying to go to that basket. And he's got good size, good balance. He's got ability to finish above the rim.
Knocks down the first. Spent his first 2 years at Clemson. Then we talked to Brad Brownell about why he decided to transfer. He said, sometimes a lot of people get in your head. He said, I didn't really feel like he wanted to leave, but when he told me that he was leaving, we both were breaking down in tears. It was an emotional breakup, but eventually Godfrey Jr. decided he wanted to come back and finish here at Clemson, and they welcomed him back with open arms.
Yeah, they drove down. I think they drove down to Georgia and got him and helped him move his stuff back up here. So you could tell, like you said when we were talking to Coach, he runs a lot of pride in that young man and wanted him back, but we're close to him.
It's cool to see this day and age, right? In the transfer portal era with NIL, how there's still strong relationships between coaches and players. Jenkins puts it on the deck. Double team, forced to pick up his dribble. Needing some help here with 2 on the shot clock. Thomas Jr. too strong, but it's Eaglestaff cleaning it up.
How about the second chance points now? 8-0 in second chance points for the Mountaineers, keeping them in this basketball game. In fact, they got the lead by 2.
Pick and roll. Decide to get into the corner. Buckner does not get the roll. Rebound again goes to Moore.
They're getting some good looks with that cross-court pass and a wide-open three-point shooter. Look at this attack inside.
Got the rebound on one end, fills the lane, and will get to the free throw line at the other.
These kids just move faster than we did in the 90s. How the heck did he get that rebound and get into the action at the other end so quickly? Great vision there. Was that Huff that found him? And you got to reward your big guy when he's using his wheels. And I love that right. You don't shy away from that contact. You go in there, you find that contact. Get yourself to the free throw line.
So many new faces on this West Virginia team, and when we spoke to first-year head coach Ross Hodge about how he put this roster together, he said the first thing we look for in terms of getting somebody out of the portal, do you win? Are you a winner at another school? Because when you win, there's so many intangibles and characteristics that come with that.
I love that. In fact, he spent about 45 minutes talking with us, just breaking down his philosophy, and you're right. That was one thing that he really capitalized on. I want guys that have win. That's why he got Honor Huff, who won the NIT last year. He got players that won 4 state championships. He wants guys around him that know how to get the victory.
A little bit of a force there from Efren Butta Johnson. As West Virginia will get the ball back, full court press set up here by the Tigers.
Yeah, Tigers with just 4 points. What seems like about 20 minutes of live time, but they're still hanging around this basketball game.
Here Jenkins, the freshman, running the point here for the second unit, turns the corner. This is Eaglestaff. Eaglestaff trying to get back, and Johnson off his fingers. And right back to West Virginia.
A little hard, a little tight for that spacing there. I thought he was going to just keep it that extra dribble he had. It really compressed the spacing. What does he throw the little high handoff? What does teammate go up there and try to either dunk it or lay it in off glass?
5th turnover in this first half by the Tigers. As Dylan Hunter will come back on the floor here for Clemson. The press has not affected West Virginia so far in this first half.
Yeah, it's really what it's only done thing that it's done is taking a little time off of that shot clock. You've seen a lot of these West Virginia shots coming with, under 5 seconds on that shot clock.
Here's Huff. They are guarding him. Super tight anytime he's got the ball. Oh, my goodness! Chance Moore!
Yeah, that might be an SC top 10 for sure. Moore rose up and threw it down.
By R.J. Godfrey rocking the ring.
I told you this kid Godfrey, he is athletic. His day is long. And one thing I love about that, this Clemson Tiger team, they don't hang their head, right? There's a lot more Mountaineer fans in here making some noise, and they are out there competing.
How about this action here in our first semifinal of the night? Obi Oha picking up his dribble. Once again, shot clock winding down. It is Jenkins recovering the double clutch midair and gets it to go.
Early in this half, they couldn't get anything inside, almost like they were afraid to go inside. These last couple possessions, they are attacking the basket with recklessness.
When Clemson has needed a bucket here with this unit, they've gone to Godfrey. Finds that one, and the lead cut down to 2.
Again, they practice that high pick and roll. They twist it, they probe it, and then it leads to a high percentage little floater underneath the free throw line. That will make Coach Hodge happy. He wants to keep them teams outside the paint. He said, keep them out of my house. Don't want them down there. Keep them, force them to play inside the yard. Run them off the three-point line. Make them play between the paint and the three-point.
Under 3 minutes to play here in this first half. Huff, he's going to get it up. Nothing but oxygen as Obi Oha was pushed underneath the bucket. As he got tangled with Godfrey.
Yeah, they want a foul, but that's the way the officials have been calling it all game long. So don't change it now. The players are going to have to, they've adjusted to the physicalness of the game, and I love it. Now, I like this right here. You catch that ball in the wing and you take it in there strong, young man. You got to rise up to get down here in Chucktown.
Anywhere. Thanks for joining us here in Charleston, South Carolina. We got a goodie on our hands. West Virginia with just a 2-point lead over Clemson. Defense, we knew was going to be the story of this one. So far, West Virginia holding Clemson to 18% shooting from downtown, just 2 of 11 here early on.
Flat out getting after it, and more importantly, just one offensive rebound. They're holding the Tigers to just one offensive rebound, and they got 5, and that's why they got themselves a 2-point lead right now.
Now for West Virginia, they are struggling from the free throw line, just 2 of 7 from the free throw line. Maybe why it's just a 2-point game here.
I always say kind of the last 3-4 minutes of the first half is so important. Trying to take some of that momentum to the locker room with you, and it carries you well in the second half. So let's see here in this last 2.5 minutes if Clemson can steal some of that momentum that West Virginia has taken away from them.
There's Foster working against a 7-footer, and Abiola forcing another wild shot.
Yeah, and another one and done, too. Shooting 17% from 3 and missing a lot of shots in close quarters. They got to start getting some more bodies on that offensive glass.
Floyd trying to back down his man. Now gets to his left hand. Pretty move.
Excuse me. Right shoulder turn, left hand hook. They don't teach it any better than that. I love that. They got all kind of skills.
Under 2 minutes to play here in this first half.
Did he throw that off the glass, too?
Oh, he did.
Soften that shot. That's a thing of beauty.
Clemson off from 3, but getting an offensive rebound. Another one hoisted up off the mark is Foster. And on the rebound, Lorient will be fouled.
I think Coach Brownell told his troops to start getting on that offensive glass. They got the one a little bit too aggressive on the second one. How many fouls now is that on Clemson? Still in the, not in the 1-and-1, not in the bonus situation yet. Just 5 team fouls, so they've done a pretty good job of playing without fouling, even though they've been playing that aggressive interior defense.
But it is that cold shooting from the perimeter now, 2 for 13 in this first half.
Yeah, look at this full court pressure here, trying to, like I say, maybe force a turnover. More importantly, take some more ticks off of that shot clock.
Floyd picks up his dribble, trying to find off. Good D by Porter, gets his hand in there. And he will lay it in. It's the steal and the bucket.
Well, that was huge right there. It was great defense all the way out there to the half-court line. And like you said, shut down that attack. And then when you're trying to kick it back outside, Honor Huff is a small target at 5'10" to try to find.
Watch out! Lorient tried to yam it, but he was met at the rim by Carter Welling, who gets the whistle.
We got the Dunkyard Dogs at Georgia coming in at 9:15, but these West Virginia guys say don't sleep on our hops. You know, Coach Hodge took them to that coal mine. Maybe there was something down in that mine that they found, and now they are using it out here on the court to rise up high flyers.
Now, Brendan Lorient was one of the key transfers who came over with Ross Hodge from North Texas. You can see he has elite athleticism, a guy who started his career at Florida Atlantic, did not get much run in his first 2 years, but burst onto the scene last year with North Texas when he got a chance for consistent playing time.
Yeah, 6'9", 215. Like you said, got pogo sticks for legs, really gets off that floor quickly. And he tries to throw it down on your head. Like, he's not trying to, like, be finesse and work it around you. He's just trying to come right at you and right through you.
Oh, we're here for that. So a little 1-2-2 press here by West Virginia. As Clemson gets it across the timeline easily. What's the key with this possession here for the Tigers?
Get a good shot, right? Like, they've been a little bit sloppy with some of their shots. They've been forced. They've been off balance. They need a good possession right here where they get a quality shot on balance.
Shot clock winding down. It's now at 2. Hunter's got to get it up, a little push off, but Lorient with that long wingspan deflects it and forces the violation.
That was an excellent job. Like I say, at 6'9", he moves his feet well, and then challenges the shot without fouling. Coach Hodge takes a timeout.
West Virginia fans who made the trip loving what they're seeing in this first half. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Welcome back inside TD Arena here at Charleston, South Carolina. West Virginia fans, they're pretty excited what they have right now. Undefeated on the season, 5-0, a first-year head coach in Ross Hodge, and you said he's one of the hot names in college basketball because of what he can do defensively.
Yeah, I talked to Penny Hardaway. He was, he was singing his praises. Obviously, Grant McCaslin at the Texas Tech. He was an assistant for a long time. Said it was an excellent hire by West Virginia. He said we got to West Virginia. He's at the press conference. Said just beat Pitt, and he went out and did that early in the season.
Oh, he didn't just beat them; they stomped on them. 10 seconds on the shot clock, with the game clock at 2-second differential. Here's Lorient to his right, trying to work on the baseline. That is stuffed by Godfrey, and they're going to call a jump ball with the possession arrow staying with West Virginia.
Yeah, I like that attack inside, though. Coming out of that timeout, Coach Hodge said, hey, let's go back inside. We've had some good success here. The second part of this first half, just an excellent play. Clemson, again, using their length around the basket. We've got 3.2 seconds to shoot here. Maybe Honor Huff coming off the screen on this double screen.
It is Floyd the inbound. Here comes Huff. He is guarded tightly. Eaglestaff is calling for it. Trying to find some daylight. He does not get it off in time. A shot clock violation. So Clemson with 1.9 to work with to end this half. And some length coming on the floor for West Virginia with Ugasuk as well as DJ Thomas coming back on.
Yeah, getting some players with 2 fouls out of the game. Smart move by Coach Hodge. I think Coach Brunell calls timeout. He's trying to set something up with just a couple ticks left on that game clock here in his first half. See if he can't steal himself a bucket.
With just 1.9 seconds left, how much time do you have to really, how many dribbles can you really even do to get something on?
You can get one dribble, and that's more for rhythm unless you're trying to shoot a floater and maybe get to the side of a defender. You don't really want to take 2 because then you start rushing your actual shooting mechanics if you have to take a jump shot. So 1 dribble jump shot, maybe 2 if you're just shooting a little floater.
Saw Ross Hodge telling his team there, if I'm reading lips correctly, that they do have fouls to give here. Just 14 fouls for West Virginia. With 1.9 seconds to play here to end this half.
Yeah, I don't think you want to foul in the backcourt, even though you got a foul to give. If they can get it to the front court and you know you're not going to be fouling a shooter, maybe then you might want to foul. If they hit a 35-footer to burn you at the half, hey, you pat them on the backside and you take it to the locker room.
It is Thompson inbounding for Clemson. The heave picked off, half court at the buzzer. Oh! Chance Moore beats the first half buzzer. And West Virginia, now their largest lead of the game. Are you not entertained, partner?
This is awesome college hoops at its best. You're thinking you're going to get the last shot, but you turn it over and just on the other side of half court. Did he call bait? He knocked it in. I'll tell you what, Clemson got burned going to the half.
Chance Moore had that baseline slam earlier, and a punctuation mark to end this half as West Virginia a 7-point lead into the locker room. That was something special.
Well, both these teams getting after it defensively. It's going to be who wants it most in the second half is going to win this basketball game.
It's been a tough fight so far, but it's West Virginia out of the Big 12 with a 32-25 lead over Clemson at the break. Feast Week presented by Lowe's. We are here at TD Arena for the Shriners Children's Charleston Classic. We are getting set for second half action with the Mountaineers, a 7-point lead over the Clemson Tigers. Welcome back here courtside alongside Scott Williams, 3-time NBA champ. I'm John Triffin. I enjoyed that first half, and I think for West Virginia, this is a big test for them, stepping up in competition against Clemson. But once again, we see what West Virginia does so well. It's their defense.
Defense, man. They flex their muscles on that defensive end. You got to love it to get into that defensive stance. Holding the Tigers to just 25 points in that first half. And how do you do it? You never let them get into your offense. You get in those passing lanes and you get those steals. If Floyd takes that one there early in the basketball game, he's established the defense for all of his teammates. And then I love this one here by Honor Huff. Really attacking, going inside, using an 8-0 points in the paint. And then I love that one right there by Chance Moore in the half after he had a fantastic high-flying dunk. He gets the half-court buzzer beater to put him up 32-25 at the break.
So neither team exactly lighting it up from beyond the arc. West Virginia 4 of 12. Clemson is 2 of 13. If you're in the Tigers huddle and you're Brad Brunell, what are you telling your team to get off to a good start in the second half?
Well, I mean, look at the offensive rebounds, 6-2. Just 2 offensive rebounds for that long Clemson team. I mentioned the 8-0. I misspoke. It's at points in the paint, but 8-0 second chance points, and then the points off the turnovers, 12-5. So they're getting outworked, and you don't generally see a Brownell team get outworked on the defensive end and on the offensive glass. So I'm sure he got after his players and challenged their want to, their manhood, and made them come out here and fight a little tougher here for this next 20 minutes.
R.J. Godfrey was the huge bright spot for Clemson that first half, leading all scorers with 8 points. Did not start the game, but he will start the second half as he inbounds the ball here for the Tigers.
Yeah, Coach ain't no dummy. He had a nice stretch towards the latter part of that first half. He had 8 points and some real athletic plays, and they're going to need a lot more from him here in the second half. We're going to try to go inside.
Immediately trying to establish their presence, and a foul is drawn there by Carter Welling.
I love that. You pinch in when that ball comes around. You catch the defense on your back, close to the basket. Welling did a nice job. Most importantly, the first thing he did before he tried to make his move is snatch that ball with 2 hands.
Fouls were not an issue in the first half. Neither team getting into the bonus.
That's because these refs are letting them play. The black and blue Big 12.
I mean, look at 2 bodies on the floor there. Nothing called. Play on.
As long as they keep it consistent from one half to the other, there'll be no complaints out of the players. But how about the big body of Welling going inside there? Just trucking. Left shoulder turn. Right hand jump hook off glass. That was a thing of beauty.
Suffered a foot injury as a reach-in foul is called on Wallin. So Wallin, that'll be his first personal. I was talking about Carter Welling. He had a foot injury all in the summer, got back to action, and I really feel like he's starting to find his way now here for Clemson.
I was talking to their radio play-by-play guy in the elevator, and he said he's their best player. He really likes the way that kid moves out on the floor and the leadership that he shows.
The staff has not been shy. They're encouraging him to shoot more, get more confidence in his jumper, but he's off the mark. In the paint, just throwing it up, and Justin Porter will get a trip to the free throw line.
Going back inside, trying to establish that length around the basket, getting some more points in the paint, and they have that advantage. And well, I think it was 14-14 in the first half. They had an early advantage in that first half, and so they're trying to reestablish that here to start this second half.
Justin Porter is the transfer from Middle Tennessee State. All-Conference USA, led the team in minutes and scoring last year as he transfers here over to Clemson. But Brad Brunell said he felt like he was a little anxious making the jump up here to the ACC, but it seems like he's starting to settle in here with his teammates.
Yeah, it's going to take a little while, right? You've got a lot of new guys, and sometimes you try to be a little too unselfish. Sometimes you're not quite sure of all the terminology, and you're thinking a little too much out there on the floor as well. Once you start to relax and just play and let your instincts and your athleticism take over, good things will happen.
Floyd, they're giving him space, so he's going to launch a 3 from straight on, too strong, and the rebound goes to Hunter. Hunter takes the handoff, uses the screen from Welling. Welling now, pick and pop to the outside. And the cold shooting from the outside continues for Clemson.
Yeah, neither of these teams lighted it up, but on the outside, I think maybe just three-point shots for West Virginia in that first half, and then I see we get 4 3-point shots. We had that buzzer beater at the end of the half, and then Clemson, right? You couldn't throw it in the ocean from that battleship we've been seeing going to break. So both these teams, I think, right now, got to continue to go inside, get themselves to the free throw line, visualize that ball going through the basket, and generally that'll open up your outside shot.
Here's Lorient. He'll try from deep. West Virginia has not scored yet in this second half. Porter with some speed and the left off the mark, tipped out to Eaglestaff. Kick out ahead. This is Huff. He'll let it fly. Got it.
Well, that's one guy you don't tell to run it inside. He regulation scoring in 25. You said you don't throw it over to that left corner for you. You track it down and just knock down the triple. Finally getting West Virginia on the scoreboard here in the second half.
What a clear out by R.J. Godfrey, now in double figures with 10.
We like that kid Godfrey, don't we? We saw what he did in that first half, but how about the entry pass? When you're going big to big in a high-low situation, you throw that ball up by the corner of the basket and you let your teammate go grab it.
Spin move, left hand, Jasper Floyd. That is smooth.
Jasper Floyd is silky smooth with that little spin move to that left hand. We've seen them left a couple times out of hit young man now.
The lead back to 6. We played 3 minutes in this second half.
Oh, got Honor Huff down there on Godfrey. That's a mismatch.
They're trying to find him. Godfrey now calls for it. The 7-footer comes over, but it's too late. Godfrey back-to-back buckets for Clemson.
Yeah, you get 5'10" on 6'9". That's a loss every time. I'm surprised they didn't find a way to switch back when the ball got rotated.
And here's a steal in the backcourt as Dylan Hunter picks the pocket and the hoop.
Coach Hodges' team is coming unglued here in the second half. Just careless turnovers.
It's now the Clemson fans making some noise here at the TD Arena. What an atmosphere. This is just our first semifinal of the night. Eaglestaff, contact, no call. Clemson with a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3.
Yeah, they score here. I think Coach Hodge needs a timeout because, as you said, this crowd's getting into it. His team is forcing some bad shots outside the one that moved there by Taylor inside, but everything else has been tough.
There's Godfrey. They're trying to establish him, and a help D as Floyd gets the steal, and he'll be fouled by Godfrey, his first personal.
Well, when you're trying to get yourself back into it, you got to play some solid defense. And look at this one right here. Just picks his pocket and lays it in.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Fans from both Clemson and West Virginia have decided to make a weekend out of this trip here to Charleston, South Carolina. Good choice. First time here. I am loving it. And we got a good game here.
It's beautiful here. You're right. I got a chance to walk up on King Street, but I'll tell you, there's Gucci and Louis Vuitton.
Bring your wallet.
Yeah, bring the credit cards. And I love the way that this Clemson team here has come out in the second half. They decide we're bigger, we're stronger, we're going to flex our muscles, try to take this ball and take this fight right to this West Virginia Mountaineers basketball squad. They got 1 3-pointer and a good move inside, but the muscle of that, they've been shutting them down. Just 2 of 6 shooting here in the second half.
Jenkins has Foster on his hip, decides to give it up here to Huff. Hand in his face, and it doesn't matter. He does not need any space. Honor Huff with another triple.
Oh, Honor Huff, that's right in that left corner. That's 2 in the second half out of that left corner. Mountaineers are needing some scoring. Honor Huff has provided it here early in the second half.
His third 3 of the game. He's up to 13 points now.
We were saying if he hits 6 threes, it's going to make it real tough for Clemson. He's halfway there.
Godfrey, he is banging. 3 ball from the corner, and the answer from Butta. F from Butta Johnson.
Wow, matching 3x3. I love it. We have ourselves a basketball game here. It's just big shot, big dunk, one after another.
So the bump is called on Foster. That'll be his second personal foul. Let's take a look back at that three by Huff. He did not have much space.
Didn't have much space. Defense right in his shorts, and it doesn't matter. You get that confidence when you lead the nation and scoring a year ago, and then the answer the other end. Clemson's doing a really nice job changing sides with that basketball and finding an advantage.
Lorient left alone. He'll take a try from deep. And the rebound tracked down by Davidson.
Yeah, that form did not look very good on Lorient on that particular jet.
Ball tipped out of bounds. Plenty of time on the clock here for Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson's had another number of these BOBs, these base that out of bounds plays. Let's see if they can execute this one here and get a high percentage look.
Godfrey probing, rising up over the D, off the mark. Lorient had it taken away by Davidson, but he stepped out of bounds. West Virginia ball.
Is it West? Yeah, West Virginia's basketball on that baseline. You got that right, partner. I tell you what, though, these guys were starting to crash the glass a little harder. I'm talking about the Tigers are going to that glass with a little bit more aggression here in the second half. I think Coach Burnell said, hey, Tree Rollins and Horace Grant and Dell Davis and Eldon Campbell aren't walking through that door. We got to start going out there and getting on that glass and doing it ourselves.
But that's the identity that Brad Brownell has formed here, especially these last 3 years at Clemson. This is a physical team. You see Davidson knock it off. Was that off Thomas Jr.? No. Clemson crowd, they thought they got the turnover.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a coach's challenge here, because that definitely looked that look who went off of one of the Mountaineers.
There it is. We are going to have a challenge, a new rule inserted in college basketball this year.
It looks like it goes off the inside of the right leg there of the Mountaineers. Thomas Jr.
Oh, did that go off the right knee of Davidson?
Well, that's why we got the replay, partner. I had it one way, you had it another. Let's let the officials straighten it out and get back to us.
So each team gets a challenge in the ballgame, providing you have a timeout. If you are successful with that challenge, you will keep that challenge. And Clemson will use their challenge here as we take another angle.
I think you nailed it, partner. It looks like it goes off the right knee. I thought it went off the inside of the right thigh of one of the Mountaineers, but you got it right. You nailed it.
All right, we're going to step aside, let the officials do their job. We'll have the decision when we come back. Well, the officials here, Pat Adams, Tommy Morrissey, Jason Garreton. Looks like they have come to a decision. Let's hear from Pat Adams. All right, I apologize. They're not going to make an announcement here in the arena, but it is going to stay with West Virginia. So Clemson's coach's challenge was unsuccessful. Let's take another look. Look at the right knee from Davidson in white. Bam.
You nailed it, partner. I thought it got the thigh, but you nailed it right off that knee, so they lose that timeout, lose that challenge, and see West Virginia's got 16 on the
has been confirmed. It is Blues basketball. Clemson has lost, is unsuccessful with the challenge. They lost the ability to challenge the rest of the game.
Well, we will hear from Pat Adams.
So just 16 to shoot for the Mountaineers here with the ball in the backcourt. The good news, I guess, for both teams is the way this game has been played, as physical as it's been, either the challenge is successful or unsuccessful, you get a chance to talk to your team, settle them down, put in a good game plan for this next 4 or 5 minute stretch.
So essentially that was the immediate timeout. As Clemson called the timeout with charge of timeout there. Jenkins with the fadeaway, and it rattles in.
Well, you can't play any better defense than the Tigers just did on that possession. Jenkins just made one heck of a shot over a tough defender.
You can tell Clemson trying to get the ball inside.
stepped out of bounds.
Stepping on the baseline, it's going to be a turnover from Ace Buckner.
Trying to force that action. Like you said, Parker going back inside at 8-2 advantage points in the paint here in the second half. They were trying to go back in and get some more. And great D by West Virginia cutting off that baseline. You got to put your foot right on that baseline, make that offensive player veer around it and step out of bounds.
So the 9th turnover by the Tigers so far. Here's Huff setting the screen. He's the dangerous shooter for West Virginia. Jenkins, the freshman, finds Ukasuk. He can nail it as well. The shots are starting to fall from the outside for West Virginia.
7 triples, 3 here in the second half, and they have built themselves back up to that 7-point halftime lead that they enjoyed.
Swatted, big block there by Chance Moore. What a game he is having.
Moore's a stat sheet stuffer, a high flyer of the dunks, getting steals and knocking down buzzer beaters, and look, going inside to attack again.
Rim run. Moore gets his own miss, and this is the largest lead of the night for the Mountaineers.
Moore's a one-man wrecking ball. Coach, who now needs a timeout? He takes a timeout. Listen to this place.
Where sweetgrass baskets tell stories, shrimp and grits taste like tradition, and church bells echo across cobblestone streets. From the hush of marshes to the ride of azaleas in bloom, every moment is steeped in culture, cuisine, and coastal charm. Savor world-class dining, explore vibrant markets, and feel history in every step. Explore Charleston.
What kind of gift can $34 get you these days? It could send someone overseas, drop them in their ancestral village, and give them a taste of their heritage. From mom's side and dad's side, it can open a whole new world of faraway places and fascinating people that make them who they are today. That's a big gift at our lowest price ever.
When you finally agree on a holiday movie. When friends turn up unannounced.
Has been all West Virginia the last couple minutes. They've been knocking down triples the third of the half, getting blocks, stopping, saying, "You shall not pass." And then I love this one by Moore. Just attacking that basket with reckless abandon. Doesn't get the first one, stays with it, puts West Virginia up by 9, their largest lead of the game.
Think of the moments we have seen from Chance Moore. That first half, he had that baseline slam, yamming it on Dude's head. Ended the half with that steal and the half-court buzzer beater. The block on one end, the second chance point on the other. He is just a ball of energy tonight.
Got his footprint, handprint, every kind of print you could say all over this basketball game. You know, I don't know if they give out a game ball this early in the season, but he certainly would get one if West Virginia pulls this victory out.
Clemson needed that 3 from Justin Porter.
That's the second big 3 that they have had here in this second half, where they needed a bucket after West Virginia had some good momentum going. Once it was a Honor Huff 3, now after that big run by West Virginia, to come back and knock down another triple.
Here's Chance Moore. He's done a little of everything. How about a 3 from the outside?
Wow, it is raining threes in the low country. 8 triples now for West Virginia. Their fan base is loving the way their team is competing here in South Carolina.
A block is called on Lorient. I don't have to tell you how the crowd feels about it.
Crowd doesn't agree. I don't think Coach Hodge agrees. He had his head down, shaking it like, no, that did not just happen. You can see he's sliding his feet, doesn't really get a chance. He got his chest there, but his feet are still moving. I kind of agree with the officials. The way they've been letting him play, I like that call.
Pick and roll. Wallin, and he is denied Guess who? Chance Moore on the spot. Coming the other way, it is blocked, but a foul called by Godfrey. Scott, you can barely hear the whistle in here right now.
This Chance Moore kid is must-see TV on a Friday night. He went up and challenged the 6'11". Is that Welling?
Welling, yeah.
Welling, yeah. And just stoned
Welling, yeah.
right at the basket. And then they get out and run. They are so quick at getting these block shots, turnovers, steals, and getting in the opposite direction and getting an advantage on that slower, bigger Tigers defense. It's a 10-point lead. This thing it looked like Clemson was coming back and taking control, and all of a sudden West Virginia, these last 6 minutes, has just put their foot on the gas.
Mayor Jenkins knocks them both down. The lead is up to 11. A reaching foul is called on Brennan Lawrence. I got to tell you, I'm not even sure what state we're in. Are we in South Carolina or West Virginia right now?
Well, that's going to be Laurier in second, and you're right, Part. It is kind of hard to tell. Clemson Tiger fans are trying to make some noise, but they are getting drowned out by these Mountaineers fans. They have traveled down here, and they are really wildly supporting their squad.
Quick release off the mark, snatched away by Godfrey to keep it alive. He's going to keep it on the block, missing the first, gets another chance. Godfrey, he will not be denied. The and one putback for R.J. Godfrey.
This has a feel of an NCAA tournament game, the way these young men are giving everything that they have, and I love the way Godfrey finished the half and has come out here in the second half and is trying to will his team back into this basketball game. Not one effort, but multiple efforts around that basket. The concentration after the contact just could not get that free throw to go.
Dylan Hunter called for the bump in the backcourt. That'll be his second personal.
Yeah, the 15 fouls. So there's fouls now. Like, we didn't get either team into the bonus situation in the first half, but both teams now with 5 team fouls. So we could see some free throws down the stretch, but still, it's 10 minutes and 21 seconds to play. These crowd is in it. You would think it's the final 90 seconds of the basketball game.
You know, this is what's great about Feast Week. You get a matchup between two teams. This is just the 7th all-time meeting as Jenkins wraparound pass, but Obi Oha couldn't finish.
Obi Oha's got to go up with more power and try to dunk that basketball. Look at Huff steals it.
Welling lost it. Here comes Chance Moore trying to go end-to-end. Had it ripped away. And they're going to say it stays with the Mountaineers. Godfrey not happy. But they don't have a challenge because Clemson already used it and lost it.
But I like the fact the officials are trying to get together. They're going to change this call.
Yes, they do. Nice job by Pat Adams and Jason Garrettson coming together to get it right.
And you can see on that replay, it went off the chest of Moore after he tried to go in there and get that body contact. It was a clean block, or at least as clean as it was at the other end. And the officials, I'm going to say, they come together and they get it right. Gotta love that.
We still have just under 10 minutes to play in this second half.
Oh, this is fun. This is a fun one, partner. I'm enjoying this, working this game with you.
9-point lead with Clemson has the basketball. Trying to split the dude. Keeping it alive is Hunter. Cross-court pass. Bottom said, give me 3 more.
A couple triples. Cutting into that large deficit. Now it's just a two-possession game.
There's more. He's going to go one-on-one. Gets the foul. And a trip to the free throw line.
He's a problem. I don't know if Clemson's got a guy that is strong enough to guard him and keep him off from going to the basket on the perimeter, or quick enough if you put a bigger body, a longer body on him to stay with him on the dribble drive.
Uses every part of that rim to get that first free throw to fall for Chance Moore.
When it's your night, right? He kissed the rim a couple of times before it fell through the net.
You know what's been impressive about this West Virginia team early in the season? The first 5 games, they've had 5 different players lead this team in scoring. It's a very balanced offensive attack.
Well, yeah, and it's one of those type of attacks. No one cares who's getting the credit as long as they keep getting the W's. And you gotta love that. Like I say, Coach Hodge, has established a culture so early, just a couple months into the season, that is taking roots and deep roots in this Mountaineers program.
Foster, the freshman from Atlanta, had it ripped away. And they're going to say it was Foster with the bump after he lost the ball. Foul on Clemson.
Well, I think it was Floyd that came up with the steal after he lost the ball. You're right. I don't know if it was a steal. Yeah, a little rip away there. Floyd gets it, and just the momentum just jumps Floyd out of bounds. Is that penalty? Yeah, that's the 7th team foul by Clemson now. So they're going to the line to shoot the front end of a one-on-one. Floyd, the left, he's got to try to stroke 2 here.
Now, the other thing, that's the 4th personal on the freshman, Zach Foster. As Floyd knocks down the front end of the 1-and-1. So West Virginia already in the bonus with just under 9 minutes to play in the second half.
Yeah, and you know, right now, if you're West Virginia, you would realize, hey, we can keep scoring inside. We can get ourselves to that free throw line. Only able to get 1 or 2 was Floyd, but we're going to have to make those free throws down the stretch. We're going to try to keep this lead and secure this victory. It's got a lot of basketball to go.
3 off the mark, tipped around. Godfrey gets the offensive rebound. Quick shot, no good. And it's Ugasu pulling it down for the Mountaineers.
Sometimes you start seeing those threes fall, and now you start falling in love with those threes. I think their bread and butter is banging it inside, trying to go inside for points in the paint. They were off to a great start, points in the paint, 10-2 advantage in the second half, but it seems like it's West Virginia now probing inside, getting this contact. And now they're going to go back to the line for a couple freebies.
Don't you love the game of Jasper Floyd? He's kind of a throwback Mark Jackson, old school bully ball point guard, just backs you down until he finds what he likes.
Yeah, just keeps probing, right? And he's trying to gain an advantage, and he's not afraid of that contact. He's got those big, wide, broad shoulders, and he kind of leans in and gets that contact and figure out, and then that just kind of sends signals to his body what he kind of needs to do after he's, rubbed up against you.
He's that guy in the pickup game. You just, I got to guard him.
You want that guy, right? Yeah. Constantly banging you. Is always a little too sweaty. You just kind of like, I don't need to guard this dude. Like somebody else pick him up.
Goes 1 of 2 from the line with the rebound to Wallin. 10-point lead. Let's see what Clemson decides to do to get back into this one.
High pick and roll. That's the bread and butter.
Porter saw the lane open up and wisely, with the hesitation, draws the foul and gets to the line.
You call it a hesitation. I might have called it a carry. I also play with Allen Iverson. I watched him do that about 1,000 times and get away with it. But a nice job. Like I said, you can't fall in love with these threes when you're trailing by double digits. You got to start trying to bang inside. They went back to that high pick and roll. And then 2 guys went with the roll guy. He gave Porter just enough of an advantage to try to sneak that ball below the free throw line and get that contact.
Clemson was looking for the game where Justin Porter would settle in, and it feels like tonight is really the game for him. Yeah, he's settling into this Clemson uniform. He now has 12 points.
Yeah, I was going to say 12 points. And I love the leadership he showed after the made free throw, talking to his teammates, talking about, hey, let's get into this trap. Let's put a little pressure on him. Let's get a stop. Start trying to string some stops together defensively. Play without fouling.
Eagle staff back on the floor for West Virginia. As Floyd says, I'm going to go at my pace here. Going to try to back down his defender, Budda Johnson. Eagle staff, pump fake, pull up Jay, missing everything. And the putback no good for Obi Oha.
Obi Oha's got a couple around the basket now. I know he was working with a short shot clock that time, but more power. When you got that frame, you're 260, 270, you got to go up and try to throw the ball down overhand.
Strong closeout, but a little too strong from Chance Moore, and he's called for the reach-in foul. West Virginia with an 8-point lead. We will come back to Charleston after this quick. And it is West Virginia had a 7-point lead at the half, currently an 8-point lead over Clemson. What are you noticing here trend-wise in this second half between both teams?
Well, I think Clemson was trying to pound him inside early, and then they hit a couple threes, and they fell in love with that three ball that kind of fell behind as a result of that, and they had cut to that 7-point lead and had cut it to 2. West Virginia has done a good job really controlling the pace of this game. They knock in threes. Clemson tries to adjust to play that way. They attack inside. Clemson tries to adjust and do that way. So they've gotten themselves now into the bonus situation by taking that ball, driving it hard to the basket. As Clemson's got to realize they got to get back to their bread and butter. It's just their strength. High pick and roll or getting that ball down into that painted area with some post-ups.
Johnson, a perfect 2 of 2 from the line. He is now in double figures with the lead cut down to 6. Chance Moore has his shot blocked by Godfrey. Plenty of time left on the shot clock.
As good as Moore has been for West Virginia, Godfrey has been the same dude on the other side for Clemson, right? Like, whatever you kind of need, a bucket inside or some help side defense, he's been there for his mates.
Honor Huff back in the game. He's getting a lot of defensive attention. Hand off to Floyd, backing down a smaller defender, trying to survey the scene as the double comes. 2 point guards on the floor at the same time. Good head fake. Extra pass, Floyd, 3-ball. That is a pretty offensive possession for West Virginia.
Coach Hogg with his left fist in the air, absolutely pumping. He loves the way his team comes out of that timeout, shares that basketball, ends up with a good look 3 on the left side. They've been just living on that 3-point line on this left-hand side here in the second half.
You said Clemson's been leaning on Godfrey. What a pass to the cutting Dylan Hunter, plus the foul.
Was that Godfrey with that court vision catching his teammate flying down the left side of that lane line? And this kid's doing it all. I mean, I love the cut. I love the finish. But look at this one more time. Just the extra pass. But Jenkins could have fired one up, but he kicks it over one more time, and Floyd knocks down the triple. And then look at that one more time there. Yeah, well, I gotta love that right there, right? Godfrey down in that left block. He's been working out down low. All of the eyeballs and the attention goes to him, and he finds his teammate for the 3-point play.
Can you tell that both of those guys, way back when they were freshmen, were roommates? They had that kind of chemistry where he knew that Hunter was cutting.
Yeah, good point, because, like you said, there's a lot of new faces over there for those Clemson Tigers, and sometimes you kind of need that unspoken, nonverbal communication when you're out there on the floor. That paid off huge on that last possession for the Tigers.
Justin Porter, a little too physical with the bump there, called for the personal. That'll be his second.
Was that Honor Huff there kind of coming around the top with that high pick and roll, using that blazing speed? And you get an advantage like that, and you're the defender, and all of a sudden you're looking at the guy's name on the back of his jersey. You can't help but say, okay, I got to try to make sure he doesn't turn this corner and get all the way to the basket. But dude like Honor Huff, he's going to go to the line and stroke about 80% of his free throws, so pick your poison.
Knocks down the front end of the 1-and-1. We had an interesting conversation with West Virginia head coach Ross Hodge about Honor Huff, and he said a lot of people just see him making threes and they think that's his game, but what they don't realize is how good of his cardio is there, and that's what makes him so special. He said it's kind of like when you think about Steph Curry. Steph Curry can get open because he runs around the court off of so many screens, and his conditioning is just so good the same way that Honor Huff has it.
Yeah, if you're going to be a good shooter, you're going to shoot the ball from distance. You better have that good conditioning, because once you catch that ball, you still got to be under control to get yourself at least on balance. I'm not saying Steph Curry's always on balance when he shoots it, because it's an exceptional level that he's at. But for you young players out there, remember, rush but don't hurry. Make sure you're on balance before you're firing up a shot. Look at Honor Huff stepping in that pass and playing, getting that deflection. Like you said, does a little bit of everything. He leads his team with we have 15 steals, 3 a game coming in to tonight's action. I think he's already got 1 or 2 tonight.
Under 6 minutes to play in the second half. Hunter turns the corner, gets all the way to the rim for 2 more. He's got 12.
That's that high pick and roll, John. That's what they got to do. They got to live here for these next 4 or 5 minutes and try to cut into that lead by getting that high pick and roll and taking it to the basket. What do we got? A 6-point game? I'm loving this.
Floyd once again. He's going to slow things down, run the offense here for West Virginia. Huff trying to fight for it, get it back, but it's stolen by Porter. Porter gets the lay-in. And a timeout on the floor by West Virginia as Clemson now back-to-back buckets, getting momentum.
Doing it with the D. How about that? Getting that live ball turnover here at half court. Was it Floyd? Quick to that basketball. Honor Huff's trying to get it there. And look at that. Floyd just rips it away, and I love this one here. Sees that Huff's going to try to rip that basketball away. He big steps to the basket for the bucket.
I gotta catch my breath here. This has been back and forth since the tip. Every time it looked like West Virginia was going to run away, once again Clemson going on another run to bring it back to within 4.
I feel like I'm out there playing. I'm glad you brought me those extra bottles of water, partner, because I'm going through them here. I feel like I'm working up a sweat. I love the way these two teams compete. But you can tell these are successful coaches for a reason, because he's got his teams, both of them, even after Tigers fell behind, like you said, by those double digits, they keep fighting and I was going to say clung, but that seems a little too cliche. But they work themselves back into this basketball game by getting after defensively. We got ourselves down, what, a 4-point basketball game, but it kind of felt like West Virginia had the momentum. It was going to run away and hide with this thing. Back come the Tigers, and then look at them now. They got all 5 defenders here in the backcourt.
Don't forget, coming up next, Georgia Xavier. Stay with us. That game coming up after this one on ESPN2. So is Ross Hodge calling the timeout? Let's see what the Mountaineers draw up out of the huddle. They go to Floyd. Gets by his man, but he's met by Welling. Clemson with numbers. Welling put back no good. A lot of contact. They're letting them play.
They've been letting them play all game long. Officials have been consistent. Great crew. Honor Huff going to the bucket.
Huff wanted a foul. No call there. He now leads the way for West Virginia with 17.
Got a mismatch. Welling down low. Oh, they've switched back. Floyd's on him now.
Wallin gets rid of it to Hunter. Hunter to the deck, and he'll be fouled by West Virginia.
That thing's Honor Huff trying to reach in there and smack that basketball away. How many personal fouls now is that on Huff? Just his second personal foul. But look at this one right here by Huff. He just so quick. He just says, my quick is better, faster than your quick, and I'm going to go to the bucket. And he does a nice job putting that thing softly off the glass and letting it fall back through the bucket.
So that last foul was actually called on Brennan Lorient, and that's a big one because that is his 4th personal foul.
Ooh, okay, well, one more. He's going to have to go sit on that pine for the rest of the game. So that might be an area in which Clemson may circle Lorient's name and say maybe we can try to attack him. Is he still out there? Did coach get him on that bench for a little bit?
No, he is still out there. As he just asked the official, who was that last foul on? It was on him, his 4th.
Yeah, I think they might get somebody up into this basketball game. Still want to be able to protect him from falling out of this game. 4 minutes, 21 seconds to go. Coach Huff says, hey, we're going to save you for the final 2 of this one. Don't want you to get a foul here in this next 2 minutes, 20 seconds. What a game. My palms are sweating over here at this high drama.
One of 2 from the line for Hunter. The lead is 5 for West Virginia as we approach 4 minutes to play here in regulation. Jenkins uses the screen from his big man. Keep his dribble alive. Pull-up jumper strong. What a rebound. Snatched out of the air but knocked away. And it's going to be Clemson ball.
Obi Oha has done a man-sized job on the glass. He just hasn't been able to capitalize on some of those buckets underneath. But we got one hot one here, down here in South Carolina.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Muscles, young man at 5'10", knocking down the long balls, and I love the aggressive moves to the basket. This kid is 5 of 6 from the field. He has put his team on his back here in this second half and has been the most aggressive player on the floor, and it's why the West Virginia Mountaineers are up by 5 with under 4 to play.
You know, it's interesting. Anytime you see a player like Honor Huff, who led the nation last year in 3-pointers made, you assume, oh, he's just chucking it. He's just a volume guy just getting shots up. He shot over 40% from 3-point range last year. He is just as efficient here with West Virginia. This young man knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he made 9 threes in a game last year. You would have thought, well, he probably shot it, 16 or 18. No, he shot 10. He was 9 of 10 from high. So he knows when he's got his shot, and he gets his look, and he gets his spots on the floor, and he knocks them down, and he capitalizes.
Clemson within striking distance, down 5. Godfrey from the block, loses it, and it's ripped away by Floyd.
Oh, Godfrey's just been so good, but tried to do a little too much around too many defenders and lost the ball.
Floyd, look at the vision as he's backing down his defender, trying to find a cutter. He's taking bumps, gets the double. More offensive foul.
Is he outside that restricted area? I'd like to see where the heels are on this young man. Oh, yeah, well outside that restricted area. He got a newspaper and a cup of coffee waiting for him to come down out of the lane. What a great job getting into a good defensive position and giving up your body for your teammates. Tell me that young man doesn't want it.
So the second personal foul called on Chance Moore with the charge.
Back-to-back defensive stops. Let's see if the Mountaineers can try to put 2 stops together in a row.
Welling, he'll try one, and we got a 2-point ball game.
Welling absolutely loves it. Hadn't made one all day from outside and picks a big moment to stroke the triple.
Corner, 3 off the mark, and a strong board from Johnson. And Clemson once again a chance to tie.
Back-to-back good stops for Clemson. They got a high percentage shot last time. They're going back to that pick and roll I talked about that they love.
Look at Huff. Reach in, no call as Huff goes slamming into the media table. It'll be Clemson's ball, but you can just feel the intensity, how badly both teams want this.
Yeah, I love this right here. Getting your hands high in that passing lane. The littlest guy on the floor down there attacking one of the biggest, strongest guys on the floor. These guys are, like I said, scratching and clawing, trying to get a stop any way that they can. Honor Huff is having himself one whale of a basketball game, but now they got to do it all again. Just 15 to shoot for Clemson.
Hunter taking his time to set up this high ball screen. Draws both defenders. Here's Welling from the top. Oh! Clemson takes the lead here in the second half.
Back-to-back big triples by Welling. Off of that high pick and pop. Nobody able to get back to him and challenge his shot, put a hand in his face.
I love this.
Welling says, this is our house.
The first lead for Clemson since it was 15 to 12. And Carter Welling with back-to-back threes.
I love that. Godfrey and Welling coming together, having a little fun after that second make. Still 2:08 left to play. It's a one-point game. Mountaineers got Lorian back in there. They lost that lead with Lorian on that bench. Let's see if he can help them down the stretch here to see if they can pull out this victory. They got the work cut out for them now as these Tigers faithful have come full throat.
Floyd hesitation, shugs off the defender. Moore sees Godfrey, trying to size him up, puts on the brakes, and another big rebound by Welling.
Welling's doing it all. He's knocking down triples. Uh-oh, we got a hurt Tiger down here.
That looks like it is Godfrey who is down here on our near sideline. Godfrey was the defender. He was guarding Chance Moore.
Well, that young man is in some serious pain. He's face down and his legs are wiggling.
He is grabbing at his right hip as he tries to make his way back to his feet. Let's take a look at this play. It seemed like when he came down, he just felt something in his hip. You could see him grab it. Goes for the rebound.
There's a little contact there, and maybe he felt it after. Everybody took a couple steps away from him, but like I said, these officials been letting them play. We got 1:39 to go. We got ourselves a one-point basketball game. Can West Virginia find a way to get a stop?
Under 90 seconds to play in regulation. Godfrey, high-low, inside. Welling has been the man down the stretch.
And it went right at Lorian, knowing he's got those 4 personal fouls. He could not challenge that shot.
Timeout, West Virginia. As Carter Welling has scored the last 8 points to give Clemson a 3-point lead.
Well, the big man is playing big, right? Whether he's setting a good screen to create advantage on the pick and pop and knocking down 2 triples. Those were 6 of those 8. And then I love this one right here. Big man basketball, you got to be able to pass high to low. And I love the way Welling catches that ball, keeps it nice and high, where the little guys can't come in and strip it away, and then just goes baby little bucket off the glass there. It puts his team up by 3. Now, if you're West Virginia, where do you go here? Right? Floyd's been trying to probe, but going a little one-on-one. Lorian tried to crash inside. I think you've got to get the ball back to Honor Huff and see if he can't get some points for you. Either diving inside or shooting a triple.
Do you feel like you need a 3 here if you're West Virginia? Still a minute 10 to play here in this ball game.
No, you certainly don't need a 3. A minute 10 in college basketball, John, as you will know, is in eternity. But these guys are 5 of 9. in the second half behind the three-point line. So if Honor Huff gets a good look, that might be the best shot you're going to have, whether or not you're trying to go inside to get to the, contact and get to the foul line. If he's open for three, which I can't imagine Coach Brunell's going to let Honor Huff get a clean look at three. But if he's open, he's got to shoot it.
You know how dangerous the inbounder is, as Huff will inbound here to Jasper Floyd. Lorient playing with those 4 fouls. Takes contact, backside cut. Chance Moore with 2.
What a play! I mean, what a play! The X's and O's on this guy from North Texas, now at West Virginia, is amazing. This place is coming unglued.
Everybody on their feet with under a minute to play. Godfrey comes out, inside they go again. This is Welling, he is bumped. And Clemson will get to the free throw line.
Well, Welling is flexing his muscles both on the exterior and the interior. I gotta love that one right there. Just a court vision by Lorient to find more on that weak side. But look, they just don't have the kilos down there to wrestle with Welling underneath, and they gotta foul him to put the big man on the free throw line.
But he misses the first one short.
Yeah, just a 47% free throws. I take that back. He's 3 for 3 on the season from behind at the free throw line. So that's his first miss of the year. Maybe the pressure got to him.
One of 2 as Carter Welling has scored the last 9 points, as he will get a breather with Jake Wallin coming back in for Clemson.
That little smaller unit to be able to guard that perimeter a little better. And if you're West Virginia right now, you can essentially take this thing down and try to get the final shot of the basketball game. But I think Coach Hodge is going to tell his team to try to attack and see if they can't get something quickly inside.
2-second differential between shot and game clock, with West Virginia down by 2. Tough. Met by 2 defenders, gives it up. Here's Floyd missing everything. Wallin with the rebound, and he's going to be fouled.
Don't think that's the shot you want from that corner by that particular young man. I like Honor Huff, he could have gotten that ball back after the defense went to them in the corner, but you still got to go to the line and stroke a couple free throws if you're Wallin here and try to get these to go. Let's see, Wallin from the free throw line this year is shooting 47. I take that back. He's 3 of 3 from the free throw line. I had Wallin and Welling mixed up that last time. Welling went to the free throw line, so hasn't had a lot of experience at the free throw line. Got to block out this noise, concentrate, knock this down.
Smooth knocks down the first. And here's the big one.
That's the big one, right? Like the one to give you the 3-point lead is big, but this is the biggest one right here. With 8 seconds to go, you can ice this game.
He missed it short, couldn't get the rebound, scrum for the ball, and here comes Chance Moore. Wide open is Lorient. Oh, he throws it down.
You needed a 3, though. You needed the 3, and they went inside, got the 2 with only 1.2 seconds left to play.
You could tell Ross Hodge was not happy with the decision. Down 3, West Virginia elects to take the easy 2.
Well, in this, because it wasn't a clean rebound by West Virginia, they couldn't get a timeout. So the action just continued. I see this young man running to daylight thinking, okay, I'm going to go in there and get an easy slam. But got to know the fact that you're down by 3 with under 6 or 7 seconds to play. Going to the offense, you got to be thinking 3 at that point.
Sometimes there's a reason why you're that wide open. You could tell Clemson was defending the 3-point line as Lorient getting free underneath. Let's take another look.
Real good point, partner, and I feel for the young man because, you know, my idea would have been let's go down and dunk this one real quick, but he realized right away, not enough time left on the game clock, even after you cut that deficit to 1 point, that you're going to give yourself enough time to foul, stop, and get a shot at the other end. But what a basketball game we've had here in the first half. The opening game of this 2-game set.
So the officials adding 3/10 to the clock. There's now 1.5 seconds to go here in regulation.
Well, listen, there was 1.9 at the end of the first half, and West Virginia got a steal and a buzzer beater. Can they do it again here to try to steal this victory from Clemson?
It is Dylan Hunter to inbound. Couldn't find anybody, so he will use a timeout.
Smart play. That was getting a little long into the 5-second violation clock, and he was smart to take that timeout, but he couldn't, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, I'm calling the timeout. Make sure that the ref doesn't give us a quick count. Make sure we retain possession of this basketball. So heady play by that young man.
All right, now let's reset this, because both teams with that timeout are out of timeouts. Clemson has to get this ball inbounds. And West Virginia's going to come with a quick foul if they can't come up with the steal.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Brunell and you're telling your inbounder, hey, if we haven't gotten anybody open with 4 seconds to play, just throw it high into the air into the back court or the front court and see if we can't run it down there. And even then, should West Virginia come up with it with 1.5, they're going to have to try another half-court heave to beat us at the buzzer.
Well, the reason why we are in this position is because of the junior, Carter Welling. He has gone off here in these final few minutes.
He's been fantastic, and he's kind of that guy that we kind of circled on the scouting report to say if this guy is flexing his muscles and playing the way that it seems like he has been playing since he's come over in the transfer portal, they're going to be real tough on the smaller West Virginia Mountaineers, and we didn't see it for about 35 minutes. In his final 5 minutes, this guy's gone bananas.
All right, here we go. Hunter again to inbound. Throws it deep. Jump ball. It's Welling going up to get it, and he is fouled. What a final stretch to this game for Carter Welling.
Hey, but with a 1-point game with 8 seconds left to go, this thing is not over, John. He's got to make both of these just to put them up by 3. And with 0.8 of a second, I was out there practicing my half-court shot before everybody took the floor. You can get that inbounds ball to half-court and try a half-court heave to either tie or win the game.
And now the crew chief, Pat Adams, is over at the scorer's table. They are checking the clock to see if more time will be added on. Right now it's sitting at 0.8 seconds. But he is going to rewind and review it to see if there's any time that should be added on.
Yeah, I guess you got to do that. The game's been so good. I'd like to just keep it moving, but 8/10 of a second, 9/10 of a second. I'd rather just see him go out there and play it rather than. But this does allow, like I say, both coaches to talk to their teams and make sure that how they want to handle it. Coach Brunell, if you make the first free throw, do you miss the second intentionally and they have to try to heave it all away from the other end of the floor, knowing that they don't have any timeouts? Or you think, no way, I'm going to take the loss out of the picture. Let's make both of the free throws, and we'll live with a half-court heave.
All right, so let's take a look at this for timing purposes. There was 1-5, inbounded, foul is called as soon as Pat Adams raises his arm. That's when the clock stops, so they're going to put 1 second on the game clock.
Yeah, so they added 2/10, and like I say, whether it's 8/10 or 1 second, you can still get a good half-court heave. If you can get somebody kind of doing a button out and down to half-court and then out to one of the sidelines, you got somebody that can make that baseball pass as Welling makes that first free throw. You can get a good look at a triple here. Try to tie this game. Should Welling make this shot? If he misses it, now you just got to turn and fire. That's going to be a little tough.
Both teams out of timeouts. He makes both. 3-point lead. West Virginia with 1 second to look for a prayer. Floyd. The heave down court. Clemson basketball ball game. Clemson coming all the way back in the second half behind Carter Welling, and will escape with a 70-67 win over West Virginia.
Well, I don't know exactly what Crimson Grit is, but their strength and conditioning coach John Oubre keeps telling me before this game, it's work ethic. And that's exactly what Clemson did for 40 minutes. They kept working, and they came out with the victory. First team to 70 is going to win. Clemson right on that number.
Carter Welling scored 11 of the final 12 points for Clemson. And we take a look at our player of the game, and yep, none other than Carter Welling.
Yeah, this young man did his darn thing down the stretch when his team needed him the most. He stepped up big, whether it was knocking down back-to-back triples to give them the lead, and then icing a bucket inside on a high-low pass, and then going to the line and making clutch free throws down the stretch. Carter Welling, player of the game.
Tonight's player of the game is brought to you by Shriners Children's. What a ball game we just saw here in our first semifinal of the night. It looked like West Virginia was going to try to run away with it, a double-digit lead in the second half, but Clemson coming all the way back behind Carter Welling. Couple threes and inside presence, and it's Clemson moving on to the championship here in the Shriners Children Charleston Classic.